Hello Saber fans. Today I want to go over Ultrasabers V4 staves. So here I have the Apprentice V4 staff and the Phantom Initiate LE V4 staff. And I want to go over some of the little details on those, as well as some of my thoughts on why I feel like if you're going to do a staff, I recommend doing either Apprentice, Initiate, and then getting an extension coupler. It just makes it, in my opinion, an ideal length for the hilt, as well as for paired if you're going to do like a quick release coupler. So let me show some of those details. So first we'll start with the Phantom Initiate V4. So one of the cool things about this is that I had originally ordered it with just the guarded switches, but Ultrasabers just upgraded them to the AV switches, and I really like that silver on the additional silver. A couple of modifications, of course, that I've done. So I have the adjustable coupler, and I've added some O-rings, and what I really like about that is that you've got this silver with 4 black stripes, and again, silver with 4 black stripes. So it's a repeating aesthetic. I really enjoy that. Also, I've put a bit of gold tape on that section because this is actually for my son, and he wanted these gold thumb screws, and I just wanted just a little bit more touch of gold on there for him. Now I've gotten these in tri-red, which is incredibly bright. Used to be that my photon blades were the brightest in our collection, but by far tri-red I highly recommend. This is so bright that when we have it just in the thin-walled standard, the mid-grade blade, if you look at it for too long, it legitimately burns your eyes, and then when you look away, everything looks blue. And for a lightsaber, I think that's awesome. But we've put these in thick-walled red blade, so that cuts down just a little bit of that intensity. Still one of the brightest blades that we have, but it also looks great when it's off. But again, one of the things I really like about these hilts, this is 20 inches long, roughly, from here to here, and that really feels good. We also did not opt for the windows, so these do have the option to have vertical windows in this section here, and part of the reason why we didn't opt for that is because you see this choke point here, and that's comfortable enough, but it's a little small. So with this is a nice smooth choke point. So if we ever separate these and do them as staff, we've got a nice decent choke point that feels really comfortable and smooth. So that's why we decided to opt out of the windows on that one. Next, I want to go over now this is my stunt saber. This is the Apprentice V4. I did not get it in the LE because I wanted to put O-rings in this section here, and then I did an electric tape wrap on that grip. What I really like about that grip is that because it's ridged and the electric tape kind of just fits right in there, it kind of gives it, I don't know, I just like that feel for it. I also added this gold tape on the choke point because I really like Luke Skywalker's Return of the Jedi green lightsaber. Has always been one of my favorite lightsabers, and I feel like this kind of emulates at least the feel of it. So it's got some silver and black, big black section in the handle. Then it's got this thin neck that's brass or gold. So I really like that. I did opt for the windows in that section just because I really think that it sets off the look of it. Especially if the choke point is here, you see that there. That's great. Now I also got both of these hilts in Arctic Blue, which have a blue diode and a green diode. And I did another video about why I feel like Arctic Blue for a thin-walled photon blade is actually better, just because the Guardian Blue activates the photon effect, but the green will cut the scion core, because when you have just blue through one of these thin blades, you do see some of the blue come through in the core. But with Arctic Blue having a green diode, that cuts it, and it just makes it more of a vivid, again, Luke Skywalker green. You can see that on the reflection of my carapace. That's actually close to the color that it has. Now, if I was going to get the heavy photon blades, I absolutely would have done try Guardian Blue, or maybe even try Arctic Blue, since that has 2 diodes of blue and 1 of green. But I felt like Arctic Blue and the photon blade is very bright, so I opted for that. And then, of course, I got the quick release coupler because I like to dual wield or staff. Again, one of the reasons why I recommend getting either the Apprentice or the Initiate versions if you're going to get a staff is that these actually aren't that short. Even if you get the V2, which is just shy of 9 inches from tip to pommel, it's still enough to grab with 2 hands. So you get the choke point up here, you've got plenty of room in the emitter, and then you got a full grip hand, and I do not have small hands. So it feels good even just wielding it by itself, and I feel like if I had gotten the Sentinel version of this or the Aeon Dominix version of this, it adds an extra 2 to 3 inches, maybe up to here, and that just I feel like is too long. And then when you pair it, instead of it being 20 inches, you get more out to 24 inches. And to me, that's not to my taste. It might be to yours. But if you want something that's a little bit more compact, a little bit more sleek, then I do recommend just getting the Initiate or Apprentice versions for a staff. Because even when you dual wield, even with this smaller, so the insert part of the quick release coupler, this still is a good sized lightsaber. And then if you're dual wielding them, well, you're only holding them like this or at the choke point. So you still have quite a bit. And for spinning, this is actually really well too. So I only have, this is a 26-inch blade, 27 if you count the tip. I like shorter blades in the hilt as well. But even if you decide to go with a 32-inch hilt, even with these, this extra bit of handle at the choke point right here, or if you decide to go with the choke point up here, it spins. It's very well balanced. So you see it's got just a little bit more weight at the blade, but not much, and that's perfect. That's what you want. That's perfect for spinning. All right, so next I wanted to add a little bonus. So one of the reasons that I got the Phantom Initiate for my son is because he wants batons or tonfas like the Brood Guard, and I discovered that I could make these little adapters, PVC pipe. I glued in the pommel so that I can actually add this. Let me show you what that looks like. So as you can see, I had actually glued in the pommel when it was attached so that the button would align when it's in there. I used hot glue initially just to form a good seal around it, and then I used super glue to really hold it in. So this is not going anywhere. I still don't think we're going to hard duel with this, but for show, it actually is pretty cool. And then one blade. And actually another thing is we don't use the heavy for this because it does make it very top heavy. So the 24-inch mid-grade blades that these normally came with, those are what we usually put in here for the tonfa, but I really just like that look. And I was going to make these silver, but I think I'm going to leave them white because it does have kind of a stormtroopery effect. And so far, the only batons we've seen in canon are with stormtroopers, so I kind of like that look. So, but I just wanted to throw that in as a bonus, and I hope you guys enjoy.